Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. From today's video, we're going to talk about wisdom, how to understand it, and what helps all of us to develop this wisdom. Now, what is the common idea about wisdom in the world? There's this common misunderstanding about wisdom, that is, they say that people who know more and they're wise, right? To be wise, you have to know more. In one sense, it is correct, but it is not always correct, right? The people who know more are not always wise, right? And also, even though you learn more and more, it doesn't mean you become a wise person, right? There's a nice saying about wisdom that says, intelligence or knowledge is to understand that tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is to not to put it in a fruit salad, right? So understand that yes, knowledge is a power, right? Knowledge is a superpower that gives all of us a good experience about this world and good understanding about this world. But if we did not develop the wisdom, right, if we did not understand what wisdom is, then we may not be able to be wise, right? So what is wisdom? Wisdom can be understood as this. Wisdom is the ability to understand what is good and what is bad. Wisdom is the ability to understand what brings happiness to yourself and to the others, and to implement those things that you can do, right? And also, the Buddha explains about the wisdom as follows. The Buddha says, and what is the power of wisdom? Here, a noble disciple is wise. He possesses the wisdom that discerns arising and passing away, which is noble and penetrative and leads to the complete destruction of suffering. This is called the power of wisdom. Now, according to the Buddha, the wisdom is to understand the reality of life. That means the impermanence of life, right? The Buddha says that the inherent nature of life is that it is subjected to arising and passing away. And arising and passing away. This is the common phenomena of impermanence, right? So if someone can understand and if someone can realize this true nature, and that person is wise. That is the Buddha's explanation about wisdom. Because Buddha always focuses on understanding the reality of life. Okay? So Buddha explains what are the things that helps all of us to develop this wisdom, how to be a wiser person. These are the things that Buddha taught us to be a wiser person. You should implement these. You have to associate these things to be wise. So the Buddha explains these 4 things that helps us to develop wisdom. The first thing is, the Buddha says, association with superior persons will help you to develop the wisdom. That means the people who we associate is really crucial. It's really important when it comes to development of the wisdom, right? There's a wonderful saying that says, who you are is the average of 5 people who you closely associate, right? Take a look at the people who you closely associate, right? Our 5 people. So who you are is the average of those 5 people. So association is really, really important when it comes to development in life, development in spiritual life and also material life, both, right? So that is why you need to hang out with people, to stay with people who can inspire you, who can motivate you, who can guide you to a correct path, right? So that is why the Buddha says, associate with a person who is superior to you in wisdom, right? In spiritual practice, if you're following the spiritual practice, you have to associate with someone who is superior to you, right? So the Buddha says, always try to be with someone who has higher qualities than you, or someone who has equal qualities to you. But never be with people, never associate with people who has lower qualities than you, right? So that is why the Buddha said, to develop the wisdom, you need to have a good companionship. You need to have a good association with people, right? And the second thing that Buddha explains that helps all of us to develop wisdom is hearing the good Dhamma, right? Hearing about the reality of life, listening to the reality of life. When it comes to a spiritual practice, when it comes to Buddhism, the Buddha says that you need to listen to the Buddha's teachings. You need to learn the Buddha's teachings and wisely reflect on it, right? When you do that, the wisdom develops, right? The Buddha says proper attention. Next thing is the proper attention. You have to listen to the Dhamma, and also you have to have proper attention when listening and also while practicing. So as the final thing, the Buddha explains, practice in accordance with the Dhamma will help you to develop the wisdom, right? That means when it comes to Buddhist practice, you need to follow the Buddha's path, follow the guidance of the Buddha and practice it. And then you can develop the wisdom in Buddhist practice. So these are the 4 things that helps all of us to develop the wisdom. The first thing is association with superior people, proper people, and good people. Second thing is hearing the good Dhamma, listening to the Buddha's teachings, and proper attention to the Buddha's teachings. And then finally, practice in according to the Buddha's teachings. These are the 4 things that will help us to develop the wisdom in Buddhist path. So I hope you got some idea about wisdom today. So I wish may all of you be happy, healthy, and may all of you be able to be wise in this very life. Namo Buddhaya.